Okay, we play against Moby Dick from Germany, and we play a Sicilian defense. And the knight off again. Okay, let's see what kind of variation he plays. Bishop g5. It's the old main line, and I'm surprised that nowadays this move is played quite a lot. So, like like a year or 2 years ago, often people played the English attack, like playing bishop e3, f3, queen d2, and castling long. But now the old main line with bishop g5 and f4 is getting more popular. However, queen d2 is not the usual way to play. Normally you play f4 with white and play queen f3 afterwards. Yeah, I think if I can switch to some kind of rouser position with knight c6, but then I mean the whole setup of white would be okay. So I tried to punish him for doing this. So maybe I just play knight bd7. I want to wait until he castles queenside to play b5, and I wait with the development of this bishop. Normally you play bishop e7, but I don't like this pawn to be unprotected, because maybe he can sacrifice here if he plays I don't know, g3, bishop h3 for example, and sacrificing the bishop here is just an idea, yeah, because this is some kind of weakness if I don't move this this knight. Okay, this plan doesn't work anymore, so now I think I want to wait until he castles. Okay, and now I'm happy to open the lines here, because sometimes it's a possibility for white to sacrifice a piece here. He gets often 3 pawns for it. Yeah, just imagine he sacrifices a knight, I take back another knight, and then attacks a queen, and he can win this pawn as well. And this is not possible anymore. He threatens to play something like e5, attacking my rook. I hesitated a bit because this bishop also protected the pawn on e6, but it's not a danger at the moment. So next move will likely be b4. Maybe I castle short now, because I don't see any threats at the king side at the moment, and I want my rook to participate on the queen side attack as well. So at the moment I'm happy with the position. This bishop, however, is unprotected, so if I move the knight, he can take here. So maybe rook e8 is also an idea. I want to keep control over e5, that's why I don't move the knight. I could move the knight, for example, to c5, but I want to keep control over e5, that he is not able to move e5 himself. However, I just think maybe he can do it, because if he plays e5, he would attack the bishop here as well. Yeah, this is not a good move in my opinion. I would like to play before sooner or later, but he can take here, and I don't want to close down the center, because this might be a weakness here. maybe knight c5 is an idea. I protect the pawn on e6, and now I threaten to play b4, and afterwards I can close because he can't jump directly to this square with a knight, because I protect it with this pawn. And if he plays something like b4, that's very risky, because then his whole queenside position is very loose. Next move to come is b4, very likely, if he just makes a waiting move, or g4 or something like this. I think white is too slow on the king side. And again, we have 2 pawns in the center. Just produce another video, couple of, I think it was yesterday, where I showed that it's not that good if for white if he just has 1 pawn in the center and the opponent 2. So I control, these 2 pawns control every square here on the 5th rank in the center, and white is not doing so. So there are some kind of weaknesses. e5, for example, is a very nice outpost for a knight. Just imagine if I move later this knight via d7 to e5, or now this bishop is also very strong on e5. Maybe he wants to play bishop g4, attacking it again, yeah, but it's not really a threat. I can just protect it again. And what does he want to do now? Next move will be b4. And then this pawn is a weakness as well, because it's just protected by these 2 pieces. And then I can grab this pawn. I mean, he attacked by playing knight f3. He attacked the pawn on d6 with the queen. But if I jump with the knight to e4, the knight protects d6, and afterwards I play d5, and this knight is rock solid here. Another idea or trick, maybe, I just think about playing bishop e4. He takes here, then I make a check, knight b3, and if he takes, there's a checkmate, but he can just go to b1. But I think it's a mate, right? Let's check it, because we have a lot of time, and he's just 8 seconds, so we have won the game anyway. But my idea is not to play knight e4. This is the logical way to play, yeah, because I protect d6. Maybe can play d5. But if I play bishop e4, and he takes with the queen, this bishop is attacking c2 and the queen as well. So if there was no knight, I could just checkmate him. So I take here with the bishop, he takes here with the queen. I play knight b3 check. Then if he takes with the a pawn, it's just checkmate, and if he goes to b1, I can checkmate him as well, because the king can't move to a1 because the knight is protecting here. So let's do it. I hope he grabs this pawn now. Very nice.
Check.
Here we go. Come on, move.
White forfeits on time.
So what to learn from this game? I think if you have a good position, you don't need to play the first move that comes into mind. Maybe you should take the time to find a knockout move. I'm pretty sure there were some other moves possible earlier in the game where I had even a chance to win directly. This is a problem with the blitz game if you have just a few seconds per move, and I think I also did some mistakes. I think white was able to play e5 at some point, because it looks like I overprotect e5 with a couple of pieces like queen and knight, but if he plays e5 he can capture here on b7, and yeah, I'm not sure, but white was too slow in the center. Maybe normally you play on the king side, and here, for example, also if you look at this diagonal, if I look at this now, maybe I could try something trapping him. H6 is not a move I like because it weakens my king side, but queen e7. Maybe like after this move, if I play now queen e7, I threaten bishop g5, so it would win the the queen. Yeah, it's like a fork, and at the same time I threaten to play b4. And if you move the knight, then I win this pawn. So it's a double attack, and there's no chance for white. And I mean, here this position is already very difficult for white. And yeah, I like this position here very much, and I think there are knockout possibilities. I mean, the first thing that came into my mind was knight e4. It makes sense because you attack the queen and at the same time you protect d6. But I had a lot of time. He had just 8 seconds, I had 2 minutes. So yeah, so take the time at some decisive moments, and this is a critical position. And here are the ideas of this knight moving to d3 and b3 as well. However, this pawn is annoying because if I play knight b3, he can take with this pawn. So I think this was a nice trick, bishop e4, but maybe b3, playing b3 is also a good idea. Why? He can't take the pawn. If he takes the pawn with the a pawn, I just play knight b3, checking the king and attacking the queen, and he can't take because there's the queen on this line, right? So, but if he plays something like c3, I can just take on a2, and white is not able to protect or to try to that I don't get the queen on a1. How does he want to do it? He can't move the king to b1 because his pawn would be staying here. So playing b3 with the threat of taking on a2 is deadly. And yeah, and I have the possibility to move here to take the pawn on e4 as well. So take your time, try to find the best move. If you have a good position, try to knock out your opponent. Yeah, and this was such a moment. If I would have taken with the knight, yeah, it would also be okay, but I think the game would continue quite a long time though. And after bishop e4, the game was virtually over. Yeah, try to find the knockout move.